Welcome back to my channel, Dead of Night. A dimly Saturday night lit bedroom with a small nightstand and an old-fashioned clock ticking loudly. The room has a simple, cozy feel, but there's an unsettling air. The bed is neatly made, and a figure, Claire, is sitting on the edge, preparing to lie down, looking anxious. The lighting creates soft shadows, giving the room a slightly eerie ambience. A dimly lit bedroom at night. The camera focuses on the bed, where a woman, Claire, is lying, looking uneasy. She has her eyes closed, but her posture is tense. A vague sense of something being off in the room, with the air appearing heavier and colder, almost like a supernatural presence. The shadows seem deeper, and the lighting is faint, with a sense of impending dread. A close-up shot of a window with the faint sound of tapping coming from the outside. The window is slightly fogged, and there's a shadow of something indistinct outside. The dim light from the bedroom highlights the eerie silence of the night, with a feeling that something is approaching. The image should create a sense of foreboding. A medium shot of Claire in bed, her eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling. The room is dark, with only the faintest light from the window casting shadows. Claire's face shows a mix of fear and confusion. The room feels cold, with an atmosphere of isolation and vulnerability. Close-up of a window with an unnerving scraping sound. The image should show a faint shadow or outline of a hand scraping across the window, but nothing is clearly visible on the other side. The window looks cold and eerie, with frost or condensation. The room behind the window is dimly lit, creating a ghostly atmosphere. A darkened bedroom with the bedroom door slightly ajar. There's an unnatural light coming from the crack, and shadows spill into the room. The image should create a sense of dread, with the dark doorway appearing as though it is an entrance to something unknown and ominous. The atmosphere should be oppressive and tense. A tall, thin, shadowy figure standing in the doorway, with only the outline of its form visible. The figure should be ghostly and indistinct, with a hollow, dark aura surrounding it. The room should be dim, with the figure casting an eerie shadow. The figure should be unsettling, with its posture unnaturally stiff and looming dark. The shadowy figure approaching the bed slowly, with exaggerated, unnatural movements. The room becomes darker as the figure gets closer, with the only light coming from the dim bedroom lamp. The figure should appear distorted, its face hollow and blank, emanating a chilling presence. The atmosphere should feel claustrophobic, with the air heavy with tension. A close-up of Claire's terrified face, her eyes wide open as she looks at the figure's bony, pale hand reaching toward her. The hand is skeletal, cold, and deathly, hovering just inches from her face. The room is dark, with only the pale light from the window casting shadows. Claire's skin should appear pale and clammy, and her fear should be palpable. Claire struggling in bed, her body frozen with fear, but her face contorted with effort. She's trying to move, but her body is paralyzed, a visible force holding her in place. The shadowy figure looms above her, its hand close to her throat. The room is cold, the shadows stretching unnaturally around the bed. The tension is almost unbearable, with a feeling of helplessness. A close-up of the figure's distorted face, hovering near Claire's ear. Its hollow, dark eyes seem to stare through her. The figure's lips are barely moving, whispering unintelligible words. The room is still dark, with the faintest light illuminating the figure's unnerving features. The whisper should add an extra layer of fear to the scene. Claire breaking free from the figure's grasp, her body jerking upright in a desperate motion. The figure should be blurry, fading out as if retreating. The room is still dark, but there's a hint of daylight beginning to peek through the window. The scene should convey her intense fear and the sudden surge of adrenaline as she fights for freedom. The figure vanishing in midair, the shadows dissolving as it fades. The room now looks empty, but the coldness and eerie atmosphere linger. The door slams shut in the background, with the wind rushing through. The room is empty, but it feels like something is still present. There's a sudden stillness in the air, and the shadows in the room seem to linger. Claire is sitting up in bed, her face pale, drenched in sweat, her eyes wide with panic. She's clutching the blankets tightly, looking around the room, terrified. The room is now fully dark, with the faintest outline of daylight visible outside. The atmosphere should feel suffocating, and Claire should appear on edge, her body trembling from the fear she just experienced. A wide shot of the bedroom, now quiet and still. The door is closed and the room looks calm, but the shadows feel deeper. The atmosphere is one of uneasy silence, as if the evil presence is still lingering somewhere just beyond the light. There's a subtle sense of dread in the air, and the room should feel like it's holding its breath. A close-up shot of an old-fashioned clock on a nightstand, its hands pointing to 3:17 a.m. The clock ticks loudly in the otherwise silent room. The light from the window faintly illuminates the clock. The atmosphere is tense, with the time emphasizing the eeriness of the moment. A shot of Claire, now looking tired and fearful, standing by the window in the early morning light. The room is slightly brighter, but the shadows still linger in the corners. The feeling of fear hasn't lifted, even as the sun rises. Claire's face shows exhaustion and lingering dread, and she seems disconnected from the calmness outside. A shot of Claire packing her bags, her expression weary and filled with fear. The room behind her looks ordinary, but the eerie presence still seems to hang in the air. The light is now brighter, but Claire's departure is hurried and full of anxiety. She looks back one last time at the apartment, as if she's leaving behind something sinister. The now empty apartment. The bed is neatly made, and the room looks quiet, but the shadows in the corners are deep, and the silence is unnerving. There's a feeling that the apartment itself is haunted, still holding on to the darkness of the presence that once occupied it. The room is still, but it feels like something is watching from the shadows. A shot of Claire lying in bed in a new apartment, her eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling. She's visibly anxious, the fear still etched into her expression. The room around her is quiet, but she's clearly not at ease. The shadows in the room appear darker than they should be, and the sense of paranoia is almost palpable.